let's maybe go rest at the inn until morning, since I have rather limited health now. I believe my health has always been that low. I just never really paid attention to it because I didn't realize that the bar next to it is your health, and the actual, like, the lowering of your visage is endurance. Alright, well, there's no more corpses here. The corpses are being picked up, but everyone seemed to leave their belongings there, so we'll take their belongings. Thank you very much for your kind donation. Alright, while we're here, we've got...
That'll keep you.
Hello, and welcome to the... Oh, it's you! Tenfrith told us what you did for him. It was such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favourite of the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tenfrith said he wanted to bring up something nice for you. He's already back at work in the kitchen. So, what would you like? I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. I'd like to know more about the Black Hound, actually. Really? Well, let's see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We get a lot of new faces in here, too. Fewer than we used to, I'll admit. Party gained 1,107 experience. Total quest experience 1659. Which would be for actually completing, getting him back. And then maybe the kills? Tenfrith's a big draw. I'm sure we'll get the big crowds back again in no time. I used to work the tables, actually, till the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. He even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see? The Black Hound? Still sitting upstairs pining after him. Poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. Please, sit where you like. Would you like a drink? Or a room? We have two available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much way of a good meal today, despite having our cook back. Okay. Sell all their belongings, and the bear ass, and the wolf hides, and all those weapons. That food and whatnot is going to go into my stash when I can. But I can happily sell all that stuff. I want to keep the crossbow. No, I don't want to keep the crossbow. Maybe I want to. I do want to keep the crossbow. Just no. Yes, I'll sell the crossbow. What I'm umming and ahhing about in that case is that I'm not sure if I want to keep the crossbow for myself, just in case there's some impossible scenario for me to get into range melee-wise. I can still shoot them from a distance, and we'll eventually trade it out for a gun, a very long gun. Long guns are good. For now, I'll keep the crossbow shot. Money made. Let's go sleep. +1 perception, +1 mechanics, or +2 resolve. Labourer's rest. Stash. Okay, so this actually will go here. This will go here, and we'll move all the food back in to... I think I was just putting it in my quick items now. I don't need to eat quickly. Into the stash. There we go. The hammer and chisel I'll keep. The folded note I will keep, since we still need to find evidence. And we'll move all these lockpicks and good stuff to your inventory, along with the lockpicks we have in here. There we go. These weird dreams. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows trees, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shriveled inward like mouldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up, and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. though it fills you with a new, queasy apprehension. You feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm that she is truly dead. I love the background sound of Vince. And with that, from dreaming of horrific faces, we have leveled up. Huzzah! We have 6 points once again to spend. I thought that would just be a thing. Hello, Lord Pharaon. Nice to see you. Greetings to you too. How are you doing? Let's see now. We have law quite our ways up. Athletics, I want to boost because I want to see if I can get to the top of that rock formation, and we'll take upon his stealth. Yeah, you never know. It might come up. Alright, now we've got 4 choices for level 3. The Flames of Devotion. Call upon our inner fire. Weapon burns with flame. Zealous Focus. Increasing the accuracy. Ooh, it's an aura. Increases their accuracy and converts a portion of grazers to hits. Cannot be active with other auras. Zealous Charge. Increases movement speed and disengagement defense, so you can zip around the battlefield. Endurance. Unshakable Confidence. Increasing their damage reduction, which apparently just has a giant fucking page on it. And converting a portion of incoming hits to grazers. 15%. Ooh. Alright. When an attack hits, there is one primary means of mitigating damage. Damage reduction. Damage reduction value is usually derived from armor, but many creatures have natural DR or can raise it through use of magic, abilities, talents, other equipment. Damage reduction is subtracted directly from all incoming damage. E.g., an attack that initially does 20 damage to a target with 7 DR will be reduced to 13. Damage will never be reduced below 20% of the initial incoming amount is the maximum that you can reduce things. I am currently a... Let's see. I am a Bleak Walker from... That as a Death... Godling is the word? No, it's definitely not the word. Death Godlike as a Bleak Walker, who's not so much... I picked Bleak Walker because I like the idea of extremes, of being so incredibly violent as to stop the fight from happening in the first place. Just, he's down, the rest of you surrendered now. Alright, there we go, cleared it up. But the Bleak Walkers also tend to not be so much with the surrender now, but more as the, and now I'm going to kill you all and salt the earth and leave nothing, because that is how the next time I show up, things will just not proceed. I don't like that so much. I do like the idea of showing up and then them going, well, shit, he's here now. All right, we're done, boys. Everyone leave. We're good. But I think I'm not going to be quite as... I'm going to be more lenient with folks. My character background is from Aedir, the nation of of law and order and colonialism. It's basically England, as far as I can tell. And I am a noble. My character has been disbarred from his family, disowned from his family, because he's a godlike, and that kind of makes him a bit awkward. Like, it's very difficult conducting negotiations when your son has to be at the table and he has that as his face. It makes things a little awkward. And they decided, you know what, it's better if you just leave. There's this nice new country that you can go visit. We'll put you over there on a boat. We'll pay all expenses, and you can be out of our lives forever. I mean, we'll be out of your lives forever. Nothing bothers there. So now it's just all like, gotta establish myself here. I'm going to be a lord. That is... It is lucky that... he has come to this place looking to become one of command and leading people on, when that is pretty much the story of Pillars of Eternity. How could that have happened? Who knows? Maybe the player already knew how the game starts. Maybe. So that's what I'm upping as. Zealous Focus. Zealous Endurance. Zealous Focus. Zealous Endurance. Zealous Focus. Zealous Endurance. Zealous Endurance! Not so much for my party as just myself. We've got Aloth, there he is. Leveled up, we'll put it more points into law and nothing else. Ooh, level 2 spell. Do we have explosions yet? Do we have explosions yet? Do we have explosions yet? Ah, no fireball. Oh, we've got rolling flame though. Ooh. So we've got a rebounding ball of fire. Oh, that's good. I don't have good experiences with rebounding spells. Lightning in Baldur's Gate tended to kill pretty much all of my party every single time I cast it. It was so frustrating. Ray of Fire, Scorching Ray between me and a target, and also anyone else between us. That's pretty cool. Necrotic Lance. Cool. Mirrored Image. Cool. The Miasma of Dull-Mindedness. Oh, I always have a Miasma of Dull-Mindedness. Oh, Lord Pharaon, you're also a lord. That's very cool. Dulling senses and wits. Are you also playing a godlike? Inflicts penalties to perception, intellect, and resolve. Nice, okay. Merciless Gaze. Increasing the chance of laying a critical hit. Oh. Oh, okay, it's caster only. No, not good. Infused with magical essence, vital essence. Temporary increase to maximum endurance and health. Cool. Fetid Caress. The target becomes paralyzed, afflicted with boiling pustules of foul-smelling liquid that erupt from their skin, sickening those nearby. Oh, good! A paralyzed target can't take any action. Their dexterity is set to 0, and their reflex and deflections are reduced by 40. Jesus Christ. Overrides, stunned, stuck, and prone. Area of effects? No, that must be the... Maybe that's the... Yeah, okay, that's the AoE of Sickened. Sickened character has all attributes reduced by 1, Fortitude and Will reduced by 10. Paralyzing someone is pretty freaking cool. I'm going to take Fetid Caress. A Curse of Blackened Sight. Right. AoE, nice. Conselhort's Corrosive Siphon is Life Drain. Combusting Wounds. Causes enemy wounds in the area to ignite, inflicting additional damage over time when they're wounded. That'd be pretty cool with a fast striking rogue. We don't currently have a fast striking. Well, actually, I did sort of build her a fast striking. She's got a spear instead of 2 daggers. Nah. Bulwark against the elements. Personal, meh. Binding Web, handy. Stuck. Rooted. Dexterity reduced by 2, accuracy reduced by 5, stats. Bewildering Spectacle. Yes, I did like the sound of Bewildering Spectacle. Creates a bizarre and perplexing visual distraction, confusing enemies in the area of effect. Cool. Confused. Behaves erratically. Oh, yes! I love those spells. Yes. Alright, Fetid Caress and Bewildering Spectacle. Thank you, Lord Pharaon. That's a very nice choice.
Yes.
And our Reggie Rogue. Mechanics. Backstab. Nice. Stealth or invisibility. 150% melee damage. Hot damn. So, if we... Next time I do a combat, I'm going to try and stealth her and see if I can just start plugging away at things with her pike. I would give her a ranged weapon, but I am eventually planning to phase her out and find someone actually, an actual character to replace her with. Ah, it's you, my savior! Makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchen around you. It's so good to be back! Do not think I will let this go unrewarded. I've decided you've earned the right to learn one of my closely guarded secrets. My dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. Savory pie. A savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels. Okay. How do I create things? Is that camping only? Surely not. Perhaps so. Camping is not allowed in this area. Fair enough. Crafting! Ah! Food! Duke's own beef loaf. Yeah, cool. Farmer's spread, Pellwood chicken, savory pie needs grain. Of course, yes. The delicious smelling pie, with a golden crust and a meat filling, guaranteed to leave one feeling battle ready. Cool. Max endurance, might, perception. So I'm getting the feeling that food is not so much for resting or recovery or having it at a tavern. It's more that just before you go into a fight, like just before you see the enemy, you stuff a pie down your face so that you can fight better.
Hello.
I love it. I'd like a room, please. Just the common room. I don't intend for anything major. And we didn't have weird dreams this time! Hey! Oh, we got reputation with the Gilded Veil for rescuing the chef. Nice. Minor reputation. Used to have a lot more fortune tellers coming through. Right, we had weird dreams about this woman in the tree. Let's go investigate the woman in the tree. Hello. Welcome to our lovely village. Yeah. Hello. You look weird. How do I... There we go. The Caldara de Baranzi. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bow that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her. Oh! And her life... That's not a good image. And her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings. But there is a tepid warmth to it. You feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it. Not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. Reach out for the woman. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out towards the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you've expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy, even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I. Wherever here may be.
How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
I think I survived a Buick. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Call them. Those days are all behind me, no?
You said souls break apart over time.
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again. But less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success.
Oh! Hey, Lord Pharaon, thank you very much for following.
A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
I want to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there. You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
What is a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, no, not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on, some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
Okay, that's interesting. That counters something that I suggested before. Previously I suggested that maybe those extra Kickstarter folks that I've seen are actually those people standing there now, or at least those people standing there are ghosts. What Caldera de Baranzi is suggesting is that these people are real, and that I could walk up to them, tap them on their shoulder, but I'm not actually seeing their history necessarily. I'm either seeing their history, or I'm seeing the history of their soul. Some other event when they were inhabiting another body, which they have no memory of. Which kind of sucks. It sort of, ruins the idea of having a soul in the first place, but I need to go refill my water. I'll be back just in one moment. Whoop. Before I do that, be right back. Woo-hoo. Sweetie. Wow. I am back. I bought one of these glass bottles. Voss Artesian water from Norway. Which sounded ridiculous at the time. I would not normally... In fact, I did joke about it, buying it several times. But then I did buy it and I realised, I tend to throw away the plastic bottles that I drink, like Coke and bottled water. Like, it's sort of... The plastic doesn't last very long. This glass, this lasts for a very long time. I can refill this as many times as I need until it starts to get all gross. Yes, sweetie. The cat's sitting behind me. She's very tired. This is pretty much my first playthrough. I finished this area. I killed the Duke. I found Caed Nuan, or Nua, Caed Nua, I think it is. And that's pretty much where I stopped. I can't remember rightly why I stopped. It seems so ridiculous in retrospect, because it's a pretty good game. But then I've been watching a lot of Critical Role on YouTube, which is a group of nerdy-ass voice actors that get together to play D&D on stream and then put it up on YouTube. And it had me really hankering for that Baldur's Gate style gameplay again. So I came back to this. I also bought Pillars of Eternity 2, which in retrospect seems like a silly idea when I haven't actually completed this one. But I was hype. So, I know what's going to happen up until we get to Caed Nua and find the statue. What did you mean when all goes well? Huh? Oh, yeah, see memories even their owners can't recall, or wanted to behold when all goes well. I wonder. So what happens when not all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprout out from one of her cheeks. Oh yeah? Have you played a few times now?
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Caed Nua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Aha! Caed Nua! That's the one. Just a moment. I just realized that this particular theme doesn't have the chat. Let's check that in there. Makes it a little easier for other people watching YouTubes to follow. Test. Maybe that goes over there. Just there. Just. Oh, it actually gets rid of me. Bleak Walker, Death Godlike. I salute you, sir. Waiting for evil endings. I am so sorry, random 21561503. It's not evil endings. Well, it's probably not evil endings, unless I decide that it's a good idea. Good idea. Yeah. It's definitely worth playthrough again. So glad that like a Baldur's Gate-ish game actually became successful once again. It came into the perfect time too, because it's like, oh, single player games, they make so little money, they're not worth making. Oh. And then this releases, your Kickstarter makes literally millions of dollars, the release makes more money. Oh, that's wonderful. It's just like XCOM, Enemy Unknown releasing, and then suddenly everyone's going, these games are actually still pretty good. Maybe we should be making more of these again. I'm so glad. I want to know something about you.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
I assume with the Hollow Children. Hollowborn. She breathes a mild sigh, sending a small beetle skittering from inside her cheek. What happened to you? She laughs. A rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now, such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer.
Oh my god.
Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence,
What?
the permeability of her essence.
Okay.
Do you know what I found?
Tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
Ooh, what is an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations. Miracle workers. My parents were soul twins. Miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other. Turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Huzzah! There's no limitations on our research. Bring in all the cadavers, all the bodies, all the orphans. I didn't say that. Oh dear. I had other questions.
Of course, dear.
Bye!
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldera closes her eyes and her head stomps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Pegas Ferron was granted Crucible of the Soul.